And welcome everybody. This is Ralph back with another video. In this one, we're going to cover the question, what does it mean to be an entrepreneur? And what is the difference between entrepreneurship and wage employment? This is a question in which there can be a lot of confusion. And I think it's important to know the difference between the two because there's a world of mindset between the entrepreneur and the person who's just working a job. So let's get into it. Okay, so first off, what is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is someone who starts a business, takes on risk, and is willing to lose money in the short term in order to make a profit in the long run. And another definition of who is an entrepreneur that I love, an entrepreneur can be seen as business people who find success by taking risks. So by definition here, and I found these definitions on Google AI, an entrepreneur is a risk taker. I kind of like to think of entrepreneurs as professional gamblers. These are people who are willing to take a risk on themselves and their own business in order to create a better future. And in order to create that better future, they're willing to put their time, their effort, their money on the line in order to realize their long-term dreams. And that is an entrepreneur. Now, by contrast, let's take a look at what it means to be a wage laborer. What or who is a wage laborer? Well, a wage laborer is someone who is looking for a steady paycheck. And that's really about it. They're not looking for risk. They're not looking to build their long-term future. I know when I was working for a living as a wage laborer, my long-term goals were sitting on the couch, drinking beer, and eating a bag of potato chips. That was really about it. And I wasn't looking for risk. I was just looking for a steady paycheck. Just show up, every day for work, get paid on Friday, enjoy the weekends, show up again on Monday, do the whole thing all over again. So where an entrepreneur is taking risks and putting their own time, effort, skill, and money on the line in order to realize their long-term goals and dreams, a wage laborer, by contrast, is just looking for that steady paycheck. And that's really it. So folks who are looking for an online job, they come across, business opportunities. They think that the business opportunity is a job. No, there is a world of difference between working a job and having your own business. Now, there can be some overlap between being an entrepreneur and being a wage laborer, because sometimes we have to do both. I know personally myself, I did not have $1 million trust fund to get me started in business when I first wanted to build my own business online and be working from home. I had to work a job full time and save my money and just get to the point where I would be able to risk some of that money in building my own business online and becoming an entrepreneur. So sometimes an entrepreneur will start out as a wage laborer in order to raise money to invest in their business and to realize their dreams. And in doing this, when we have to do this, we need to be doing a very careful balancing act with our mindset. Because when you're out there, if you're working full time at an outside job as a wage laborer, and you are trying to build your business from home at the same time, when you're working on the job for somebody else, you got to put on your employee hat and think like an employee. But when you get off the job, when you go home and you start doing the things that you need to do to grow your business as an entrepreneur, take that employee hat off, put on your entrepreneur hat, and start thinking like an entrepreneur. So, yeah, sometimes we have to do both. And when we do have to do both, you got to be careful. When you're on the job, think like an employee, but when you're working for yourself, when you're building your own business, for heaven's sake, think like an entrepreneur because, as we've seen in the beginning, a world of difference between the two mindsets. Now, should everyone be an entrepreneur? And there are people out there online who will be saying things like, oh, being an entrepreneur is great. It's a great way of life. You earn a lot of freedom and everybody should be doing it. I would agree that being an entrepreneur for me is a great way of life. I have realized a lot of freedom. I am building a lot more freedom into my life, but this is definitely not a lifestyle for everyone. Not everybody is cut out to be an entrepreneur. I know I wasn't 40 years ago, even 30 years ago, and 20 years ago. Did not have the right mindset to be an entrepreneur. I was raised to think like an employee. I was raised to be a good, wage laborer, a good little employee. And for the longest time, that's all I wanted in life. But then eventually I began to grow into entrepreneurship, and now I am an entrepreneur. So some people must grow into being an entrepreneur, and then there are others who may never be cut out to be an entrepreneur at all. So I would say I don't encourage everyone to become an entrepreneur, but if you are willing to take some risks, to build your own business, if you are willing to take some financial risks, to put some of your own time, effort, and money on the line, to build your own business so that maybe a few years from now you can start living your dream life, attaining your goals, then maybe you are cut out to be an entrepreneur. But not everybody is. For some people, the kinder, easier way of being a wage laborer may be the way to go, may be the way to stay. But some of us do eventually grow into the mindset of wanting to have our own business, have our own freedom, live our own lives without having a boss telling us what to do, except maybe your wife or your husband if you're married. Now, after all that has been said, if you are interested in becoming an entrepreneur and you want to learn how to build your own business online, check out my main affiliate link, ralphshomebiz.com. Information is right up there. And, we have an offer there that I think is excellent, especially for beginners. It is an online marketing school, teaches you how to become an online entrepreneur, and it pays 80% recurring commissions when you sell the academy to other people. So it's a great way to learn entrepreneurship, great way to learn how to build an online business. And I mean, we have trainers who are phenomenal, who have been doing this for a very, very long time. I'm learning a lot in this academy, and I think if you're serious about wanting to build your business, I think for me it was the place to start. For you it may not be, but for me it definitely was. So check it out. See if it's right for you. Okay, this is Ralph signing out. Thank you for dropping by. Catch you in future updates. Take care. As always, please remember to like, share, and subscribe.